video, we will continue with Chapter 10 on page 299. Going to skip to the next highlighted box down here where it says to create a budget for assets. Alright, so last time we created a budget for the income statement. Now we're going to turn to the balance sheet a bit. The income statement is probably the more traditional idea of what a budget is because it has to do with timing. Another type of budget generally often has to do with cash flows. And this budget, we're going to look at the assets and try to see where we would be at a specific point in time. And so number one says click the company, then click planning and budgeting, then click set up budgets. Number two says click create new budget. Number three says select 2013 as the budget year and the balance sheet as the budget type in the create new budgets window and click next. Number four says in the cell at the intersection of March 31st and the Bank of Florida type 34250. So let's do those together. Gonna go back to our QuickBooks here, and we need to go to company. I'm gonna hit the drop down myself, go down to planning and budgeting, and we would like to set up budgets like so. And then number two says click create new budget button. So we need to hit that button, happens to be over here. So we're going to create a new budget. Number three says type 2013, so we need to bring it down a few years to 2013. On the balance sheet as the budget type, so we want the balance sheet to be the budget type. And then number three still says hit next, and number three says click finished. Okay, now we are on number four, and of course now we're just going to enter this information. We're going to enter this information as of March. So notice the budget for the balance sheet is going to be a little bit different because we're doing it as of a point in time. We're not talking about a range of time. We're talking about a point in time, and the point in time that is ending in this case will be the end of the first quarter, being March. So number four says click in the cell intersection of March 2013. So make sure you're in March and not January. Once again, we will not copy this across. We're going to be in March. Your problem at the end of the book will be in April, so be aware of that. And then it says to type in 34250. And let's go back to the book and see what we have next. Here's some pictures of some Malibu boats, by the way, in case you were wondering what we sell. And then number five, it says click in the cell at the intersection of March 13th column and the short-term investment row, type 50,000. Number six says click in the cell at the intersection of March 13th column and accounts receivable and type 400,000. Number seven says click in the cell in the intersection of March 13th column and prepaid advertising and type 20,000. So let's do those together. Gonna go back over here. So number four says click in the cell at the intersection of March 13, 2013 and the Bank of Florida. Number five says click in March 13 and short-term investments, which would be here. Type 50,000. Make sure you got 50,000 and not 5,000 or 500,000, considering there's no comma in the book. Number six says click in the cell at the intersection of March 13 column and the accounts receivable, which would be here, and type 400,000. Number seven then says click in the cell at the intersection of March 13 column and prepaid advertising, so that would be here, and type 20,000. Back to the book, turning to the next page, being 300 and number 8. So number 8 says click in the cell at the intersection of March 13th and inventory, type 200,000. Then we're going to look at inventory parts, 2,000. Then we're going to go to prepaid insurance, 16.5. Furniture and fixture, 295, and click in the cell at the intersection and accumulated depreciation negative 17,750, and save and close, looking like the picture here. So let's do that. So number 8, we were going to inventory. So inventory 200,000. Number 9 says we're in inventory parts here, and that's 2,000. Number 10 says we're in prepaid insurance down here. That's 16.5. Number 11 says we're in furniture and fixtures here, and that's 295. And number 12 says that we're in accumulated depreciation, and we have to hit a negative here. Notice we're not using debits and credits, so accumulated depreciation being a contra asset, because it's related to the furniture and fixture, will have to be in as a negative. And then we should look like the book, so 34, 50, 400, 200, 2000, 20, 16. I think that looks okay. So then it says that we hit save. So let's make sure we save it at the bottom and go back to the book and see what is asked of us. Next box down here says to create a budget for liabilities and stockholders' equity. So now we're going to continue, of course. We just did the assets, and we're going to continue to the liabilities and stockholders' equity into the same information. So click the cell at the intersection of March 13th and accounts payable, 200,000. Then we're going to go down to accrued liabilities, and that'll be 1,500 or 1,005. So let's do that. Accounts payable is going to be down here. So let's go into accounts payable. Number 1 said we're going to enter 200,000 there. And then number 2 said we wanted accrued liabilities, which happens to be down here, and we want 1.5 in there. Back to the book, on to the next page. Number 3, payroll liabilities, 3,000. Number 4, sales tax payable, 15.4. Number 5, loan payable, 300,000. Number 6, capital stock, 400,000. Number 7, retained earnings, 80,001, and then we will save. So let's put that information in here. Number 3 said payroll, and we want 3,000. Number 4, sales tax, and we want 15.4. Number 5, loan payable, and we want 300,000. Number 6 is capital, and we want 400,000. Number 7 is retained earnings down here, and we want 80,100. And then we should look like the book, and then we can hit, I'm going to hit save just to save it again, and then hit OK. Alright, see what we have next. We are then turning to, or going to, the bottom of page 301, where we have the objective of to create, memorize, print a budget overview report. So then we're going to go to the report center. We're going to go to budgets and forecasts. We're going to double click the budget overview. We're going to select the 2013 budget balance sheet by account, and then click next and finish. So let's do that. So we could go to the report center here. I'm going to show it in list format. Then go to the budgets on the left hand side of this tab. Budget overview is what we want. I'm just going to run that report. 2013 balance sheet, that is what we want. Going to go ahead and hit next and finish. Then turn to the next page and see what we want next. Number 4 says enter the dates of January 1st to 3/31 as the from and to date respectively in the balance sheet budget overview window. Select total only from the columns drop down list box and then click refresh button. Your report should look like the one in figure 10.9. Alright, so we're going to tab over. I'm going to go 010113 to 033113. And now I'm going to change the months to just total only, like so. And there we have it. And here is our report. And so there we have it. We'll refresh this button and let's go back to our book and look at page 303 where it says modify the report to exclude the date prepared, time prepared, and report basis. Memorize this report in your group and then click print. And then number 7 says click portrait to fit. Okay, so what we want to do then is to memorize this. So we can just go to the memorize button because we've already set up our group, and we can select the save and select our name in order to memorize this report. Then we could print this report. I'm going to export it to the Excel sheet instead of printing it to practice that feature, because that's the preferred way to turn in some of the homework. So we would then go to these Excel at the top. We want to create a new worksheet. Now that's confusing because it's not a new workbook we're creating, not a new Excel document, but a new worksheet within the Excel workbook. And so we'll select that. Then we're going to go to an existing sheet here, and it should be going right to where we want it because we went there last time. So it's right in here. That's where we entered all of our worksheets. I'm going to click Chapter 10 and export. And then, of course, all we need to do once that opens up in Excel is double-click the sheet and name it Balance Sheet Budget 03.31.13. And I'm going to close it. Now, if you do not have Excel, you could print it as a PDF file. It would just be a lot of PDF files. So just realize that there's two other ways we could do it. We could print it, and then we can print it to the PDF file like this, and then it would basically save it as a PDF. The only thing you would have to do then is print a separate one. It wouldn't be on one nice workbook. Now, they also wanted us to look at the orientation. So if we were to print it, and we could go to preview and see how it's oriented here, and we could change it from landscape to portrait, which would probably be appropriate here. So then it would be on one page. All right, what else do we have? We are now on the second beige box on 303. It says to create and print a budget versus actual. So number one, from the report center, select budget and forecast, and then double click the budget versus actual. We're going to select the 2013 fiscal year and the balance sheet, then click finish. Then we're going to change the dates to the first quarter being January through March. We're going to select quarter. We're going to refresh. Then we're going to fit it to one page and print it. So let's do all that. I'll do that together. So number one says we go to the report center. I'm going to go to the open windows in order to do that. Here's our report center. We want to select the balance sheet, so the budgets. I'm going to go down to budgets down here, and we want a budget versus actual this time. So we're going to select this one, budget versus actual. We do want the balance sheet here, so we're going to continue on that and finish. Number 4 says to change the dates of 01/01/13 to 03/31/13. And number 5 says select quarter from the drop-down column. So we have month here. We're going to select quarter. And there we have just the quarter. We're going to refresh, or you can just click down here and hit the refresh button. That's what number 6 says. And then it says to modify the report to exclude the date prepared, time prepared, and report basis. We go to customize here, header and footer tab. Remove date prepared, time prepared, report basis. And OK, those have now been removed. Number 7 then says memorize the report and then print the report. So we could memorize by hitting the memorize button. Click in here to allow us to go to our special group of our name and save it. Then we can print it. Now once again, I'm going to export it to our Excel sheet. So I'm going to hit the Excel. We're going to create a new worksheet within an existing workbook, a new worksheet in an existing Excel document in an existing workbook, and it's going to where we want it to, which is of course this chapter 10. Then I'll export that. Once that exports, we can then name the tab. Now it's going to be a fairly long name, so it might not totally fit, but we'll have to abbreviate. I'm just going to call it balance sheet budget versus actual, and then 03.31.13. All right. And close it, save it, done with it. Let's see what we have next. Going to the next page, here is our budget versus actual here. And next page, on page 303, we did that. Budget versus actual, we're good there. And that's the end of it. So that completes this chapter.